What's up, everybody? This is Brian Tinsman from Pounce Solutions, and today I want to talk about the importance and the value of being vague. Now, generally speaking, I encourage clients to get as specific as they can be, to really choose their words carefully. But there is an art to being vague, and I think one of the best applications of that is when you are creating something that does not currently exist. So if you have come up with a completely novel concept, let's use a flying car, for example. The year is 2020. We've seen drones. We've seen, some of these autonomous vehicles that can lift things up and move them. But the idea of a flying car, even now, is still a little bit far-fetched, 50 years after the Jetsons. So if you were to describe a flying car now, you might use the Jetsons. You might use terminology that we commonly think of around helicopters or airplanes, other aviation, unmanned aviation, in order to help people understand what this concept looks like, especially if you haven't built a prototype and you're out looking for investors or something like that. So you might use some of those types of comparisons to help them understand what this thing looks like, especially if it's a concept that hasn't really been thought of before. So another way of doing that is to compare it to a successful company in another industry. So if you were around the investor space about 10 years ago, what you would constantly hear is, we are the Uber of X. We are the Chipotle of X. At that time, those companies were just blowing the doors off of the competition, were radically changing the way that we think about food, the way that we think about transportation, the Airbnb of X. So you might want to compare yourself to these companies that are so far out in front of things, that are disrupting their industries to such a large degree, and try to associate your idea with their success. That's also a very useful way to use vagueness, but I always recommend that after kind of starting there, that you bring it home, because again, those companies all have their problems too. And it also doesn't really describe how you are going to do it. It just sort of points to, well, we are that level of innovation, we are that level of disruption. So again, use vagueness to your advantage, but always have a way to bring it home. It can be, a nice way to kind of get the conversation started, pique their interest, but make sure that you have something to back it up at the end. If there's any way that we can help with that process, please send us a DM or hit us at pouncesolutions.com.